Hey, what's up? It's Brett. Haven't really posted any lessons in a while. I got pretty down the rabbit hole of like electronic music and different other things, which maybe I'll post. I've been posting a lot of shows. I've been going to tons of shows. It's been inspiring me. Also doing more surfing again. I'm not hurt. I'd hurt my shoulder pretty bad. I couldn't surf for a few months. But anyway, I still play guitar every day. If people want to learn stuff, I can post some lessons if it's not already online. But really, I like to post lessons of more like tricks that I don't see discussed. So lately, I've been playing on this nylon guitar quite often. Even if I translate the ideas to electric or something else, nylon is very different feeling. It's very wide. Look how wide this fretboard is. So it encourages more finger picking. It also has a much mellower tone. So even if I end up making like a crazy distorted riff, a lot of times I can explore ideas different on this nylon, which is cool. So I'd recommend buying a nylon if you don't have one, just for the wide fretboards and the different tone. But lately what I've been doing is playing a lot of drop D, also in the key of D quite often. And I want to show a couple tricks that are easy to do. So this is standard tuning, but this is D. So get a tuner and then just tune down the E to a D and it should sound right. So what I would recommend is learn a D major and play D in the bass. Then the next chord to learn is G major. So normally you do a G like this. Let's omit this note. You could do a G like this, but because it's in D, clearly that's not right. So what happens is everything on the D string moves over 2 frets to find the original note. So a G here, because you tuned it down a whole step, then you got to move 2 more to the right to find the same note. So G ends up looking like this. So you can't really reach over here anymore, but that's fine. I admit that note quite often anyway. And then take your middle finger and try to put it on the 4th fret here. And then you can experiment, take this finger off here and put it here. So that's a different way to play G. So like learn to play G like this, but then instead put your first finger here, middle finger here, and 3rd finger here. This is a triad that's going to be movable because there's no open strings. It feels like you're playing a C chord in a way, but if you moved your middle finger up. So it's kind of like, it's like this shape, but then you're just, if you know this movable little shape, keep those notes and then this. And for the A chord, you can, so the chords in the key of D are D, G, A is the 1, 4, 5. You could play the 5 chord like this, is fine. It's not even affecting this. But instead, what's more interesting is this. So this is an A chord. So like, I just move the same shape. So learn to do this. That's D in the bass of a D major. Then you're gonna go. You're gonna slide it over to A. So normally it would look like this. It's part of the bar chord, but this has moved over, so it's here. Then what I would do next is just try to randomly pick on anything. So you're gonna do the root of the chord in the bass here, and then just pick anything from D and up. Just randomly pick it, and a lot of times I like to leave the open E on top. So instead I'm gonna leave E on top. And it's gonna be deep, deep, deep. Slide over, back. So notice I'm hitting this and then this. It doesn't matter, you can pick however you want. And picking is really easy on nylon because it's so spread out. to do is add my pinky on the B string. And then you can make little boxes up on top. So watch. Move the middle finger off G. I don't move those two. I'm just toggling like notes like this. So here we go. Actually, I should keep this thumb going like this. This feels a little bit like, if you could do this, I should keep this going, this alternate picking, so this will sound cooler. Oops, I missed it. Rattling there. Okay, so that's kind of cool, but for me, after you play for a while, and I don't know if you're at this stage, but 1-4-5 chord progressions get a little bit boring. I mean, I still like them if there's an interesting song and it sounds nice. Yeah, you can go super far with 1-4-5 chord progression. But usually for me, if I'm playing, I want to do, even if I'm staying within a 1-4-5, I want to have different kind of intervals on top or do something interesting. So let me show what I find fun beyond that. I just kind of wanted to build up to this. So what I like to do is leave a lot more B open. I really like D major with a B, and B is the 6th chord of D, but even like a D major 6 kind of has a very, it's kind of like a, consider it like a brighter watery color in a certain sense. And then what's cool is in drop D, so you can do this chord, or you can just leave it open, just have this A and then open. It's kind of the same vibe. It starts to sound a little more like mystical or something versus this. But anyway, you can mess around with this chord. Now what's fun is to move this finger, instead of doing this shape like this, you just do this 2-note shape. So you got, this is G and this is B. This is a G chord. And then when you go over to the A, instead of this, you're gonna do this. So it's actually easier technically, but I'll show you why I like it. So here we go. It has a very open sound. Now what I like is to then play like melodies on these strings, and notice too is I have these 2 fingers free. So this is your more boxed in, you can use your pinky, you're kind of stuck, whereas here, do more stuff. So what I like to do is just sit around and pick, and sometimes these ideas that I come up with, they end up in very different forms later. So I view like the nylon guitar, if you don't have one, as kind of a good interval, because you can pick so easy. You can find intervals you like in little sounds. You can take them, like I'm making crazy music in Ableton lately. It sounds nothing like guitar. There's no guitar in it. But sometimes I'm like, oh, I like that interval. I like that sound. What am I doing? I'll take those 2 notes and go do something with it. But here you got D, D6. Keep this finger here and just go to here. It'd be a G chord. Slide it over, sorry. So here we go. I'll play something for a second. So we got. You can also strum. It's real easy to jump to this shape. Here would be a D. Moved up. This is 12th fret. So you got to experiment around. And then I'll play something more advanced here to sort of wrap this up. So here's something I was just playing around with that made me think to make this lesson. So now instead of D, I'm doing B minor, which is the 6 of, it's the relative minor of the D. So watch. To me, that sounds really cool, and like I get excited by these kinds of little ideas, and I might build on it later, or I might put it back in standard tuning, but I don't think I would have come up with this in standard tuning. So here we go. So B minor with the E on top to kind of get a different vibe, and then I'm sliding to that G. It would have been like this. So it's, and I'm going, that's an A. I could have done it over here, but I'm already over here. Oops. See, it's very watery and open. Now I like to do this too. If you do a power chord shape in drop D, it sounds very different. So what it is you're doing like a major 6 interval, but with the open string. So after all that, I like these tension notes. So B minor. I like that tension. And power chord, which is actually a 6 now. This is an A, like an A6, which is a bunch of colors on top. And I usually just hum over stuff like this and generate more parts. But lately I've been using Ableton and making like real weird stuff on top. So it's like. What I'll do is sometimes just play the chord for a second without doing the fancy stuff. So really all it's doing is this. Or I'll whistle. See if I can do that. I like the whistling more. Let's see if I can do it with the thing. It's pulling my brain. I might have to hum. There's a lot going on there, but drop D I think encourages that because you're getting this more, when you do this, you're getting more spread between the notes, and also on the nylon, you get a little bit more desire to pick things that are different. And then one final trick that I really like to do in drop D lately is, this is a D chord. So if you take D, you play it more like a piano player would, because a piano player would not do this voicing. So this would be like 1, 5, 1, 3. This would be 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. Like that would be like going up the piano, like do 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 do. Now if you take the bottom of these, then you'll notice you have a D, and because this is drop D, you can play like here. Modest Mouse style music. That would be just like a D triad, the 1 and the 3. But what I like to do in drop D is put this here, which you know is G, because this moves over. And now what's kind of cool is now you have this D shape with essentially what you're doing is you're taking like a D shape, but you're making it into it's actually a G major 7, but it ends up encouraging some strange ideas I'd never really explored. So basically just take this, and then it doesn't sound like a G major 7 in this context as much. It does, but the mechanics of playing it. And then you can add upper notes. And then what's kind of cool is you can put this note in there. I'm doing is just toggling this and this. And I'm going to lower the bass. And one other thing I like to do is leave the open D. And sometimes you'd be like, why would I duplicate a note? But it sounds actually cool, so listen. That's just a duplicate note. But when you do it in context, it sounds cool, so like... Oops. So to do too, I was doing it before, is get this 2-note. This is G and D. So this is either a D, it's kind of a G chord, I guess, like a G5. But what I like to do is go to this note, so watch. These little 2-note chords, so this is 4, 5. It sounds really cool and it's really easy. I mean, this isn't exactly beginner guitar, but it's something I'd never really explored. Basically play and drop D in the key of D major. Yeah, you can use B minor, but use this trick. And then you can also use this little 2-note trick down here. And like I've explored all around in this key. So one other thing that I like to do, and I think a lot of people have explained this, when you're being creative, is create a constraint for yourself. So like over the past year, I'd say I'm like, yeah, I don't use the key of D major very much. So I've just been making up tons of songs in the key of D major. A lot of times I do it in the key of drop D, and you start to figure out like, all these little tricks, like I'm showing some. So anyway, if people have things they want to learn, let me know. I'll start posting some more electronic music in the future. And when the surf's good, some surf clips. But anyway, that's it.